Hi guys, so Brexit is getting more and more insane by the day. I've said before that the Tories and the Brexiteers are not in the business of fixing problems, they're in the business of creating them. The modus operandi of the Tories post-Brexit is for business to sort out the problems themselves. Let the market fix the problem. We have seen this when it came to advising exporters at the beginning of the year to simply open operations in the EU to avoid the new red tape of being a third country. The same happened when it came to the heavy goods vehicle problem. Pay drivers more was the Brexiteer mantra. Well, the latest Brexit solution to a Brexit problem is of course costly to the consumer and to the environment. Farmers in Britain are sending their produce to Ireland, which is of course inside the European Union, having them processed there and then shipped back to the UK for sale on British supermarket shelves. This is according to the British Meat Processors Association. Why is this happening? Well, because there's a lack of butchers due to the ending of freedom of movement post-Brexit. The same is happening in the pig industry. However, instead of sending carcasses to Ireland, they're instead destined to the Netherlands, again because the country doesn't have the critical shortage of butchers. The head of the British Meat Processors Association, Nick Allen, told the media, and I quote, "Farmers are just about keeping their heads above water." However, he said the situation is showing little sign of improvement. Just a side note here, the more industry adapt post-Brexit, the more it will become the norm. There is no incentive in Westminster to deal with these problems, the problems caused by Brexit. So industry has been thrown in the deep end here and told to sink or swim. That means only the ones with the largest pockets will continue to operate as Brexit trudges on. Now, this all comes as the lack of butchers in Britain means farmers have been forced to cull thousands of healthy pigs on farms, and those farmers who in general voted for Brexit are suffering the consequences of it. The head of the National Pig Association, Zoe Davis, said that about 10,000 pigs have already been slaughtered, many of them probably piglets, as they free up more space on farms. Farmers have been pleading with the government to change immigration rules in order to make it easier for foreign workers like butchers to move to the UK to operate. But the response from Brexiteers in London has been described by many as pathetic. In typical Tory government style, they wait until it becomes so bad that they have to do something about it. Well, the response has been to allow butchers into the UK on a temporary basis on 6-month visas. The Environment Secretary George Eustice said recently that Britain needs an additional 800 butchers and that the temporary visas would deal with that problem. But that was back in October, and farmers have already reduced the supply of meat to supermarkets as they began culling some weeks ago. The ironic thing here is that Brexit was about British businesses providing British products to British consumers. But the reality is that due to Brexit shortages, produce is being exported abroad and then reimported. The other thing that is happening is due to the lack of availability from farms in Britain, supermarket chains are simply importing produce from the European Union, once again defeating one of the purposes of Brexit. The response to all of this by Brexiteers in government is to ignore the problem and let industry sort it out. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.